All right, a little bit late to start. Let's transition over. Hi, guys. So let me know that everything is working today because we are testing something a little different. Now, I don't think that any of the notifications fired. Oh, no, they didn't. They didn't fire. So we are gonna call people in here the old-fashioned way. 1 second. This is a thing. I'm set up on an entirely new piece of infrastructure. So it might just me and PZ here today. We're just gonna hang. But patient zero, please let me know if this is working. I'm hoping that everything's good, that you guys can see, and that we're good to go. So let me know. It's Ron's not here, so it's happening whether you like it or not. So let's see. Today is CyberBuzz Radio. Let's do it. No, patient zero. No. You tried, but thank you. No. 1 sec. Ron broke my notifications. Don't do it. There we go. All right. So let me know. Nobody actually, you two, yes, but StreamBot's playing music. Oh, no. All right, so let's just see. Let's try something else. Let's mute StreamBot, and let's try Backup Bot. Let me know if that works. All right, so for those of you who are watching on other stuff, we may have to... I'll have to get some links into chat for you guys. So I see some people have jumped on. YouTube's working, Twitch is working, Vim TV is working, everything is working except mspwaves.com, which is perfect because that's literally the whole point of doing this. So, knowing that things are excellent and that we're so pleased, let's do this. Let's get some fucking links. All right, so there's the YouTube. Choose from YouTube, Vim, Twitch, Trovo. All right. So let's just server mute everything over there. So there we go. We'll wait till some people hop in, but today may end up being a super chill show just because things are totally borked. So, hi, my name is Crimson Clad. This is CyberBuzz Radio. You'll see I'm in a very au naturel, no makeup, kind of gross looking state. And part of that is because, I'm going to close this window a little bit. Part of that is because it has been a wild and crazy few days. I have a new dog who I could talk a little bit about, but anyway, she's here, and actually, you might see her right behind me. So for those of you where it's broken, you may want to hop in. What we might have to do is I'll drop all the links and leave them in chat, but we could talk a little bit about a bunch of stuff going on. Exactly, Inertia. I actually had some valuable questions that I wanted to ask you guys. I had some topics that I wanted to touch on. Hey, Murphy, come here. So, I had a bunch of stuff that I wanted to kind of ask you guys about and talk about today, but we may have to kind of put things on the back burner and have just a chill show today. So, Murphy the dog is here, as you can see. Lulu the dog is back there. We're trying to get her used to some things. Why is it busted? Because Ron broke it. That's why. I'm sorry. I apologize. So the long and the short of it is, I use a specific restream service specifically because they support Vim TV, which is, of course, everybody's favorite Hive-powered streaming solution. However, sorry, I'm going to close my video. I'm trying to get this all sorted at once. I've got a window in front of me because this beautiful lady behind me, she fucking stinks. She's so smelly and disgusting, but we're going to take that bullet. I'm going to leave the window halfway open and we'll see how we can do. So the long and the short of it is, I use Caster. They're great. They're local. They're Canadian. They support Vim TV natively. But unfortunately, with the way that they actually forward on the stream, it was making the quality on MSP waves terrible. Now, for those of you who like to come and watch the show or come hang out for the show, well, that's the whole point. That's the station. MSP waves is our station. So if the quality is terrible, that's not going to work. And so Ron and I have been kind of racking our brains on ways to, fix this. And so what we decided to do was stream directly to MSP Waves and then use MSP Waves as a restream server. Well, that's an experimental feature. And the experiment thus far has failed. So, no problem. Her full name is Smelly Lulu. Her full name is Anne Lewis, because this is Alexander Murphy. That is Anne Lewis. But so if she looks really sad and scared and whatever, it is because she is. So we could talk a little bit about her, because she's kind of a big deal. If you have questions about adopting dogs with trauma, I'm your girl. But part of the reason that I'm keeping her in here today is not just to entertain you guys, although of course it is. I will absolutely pander. But it's also because she is a dog from the other side of the world, and I am working on fixing a couple of little things, and it's going to be a long and involved process. So I've got both dogs in here. I may actually try to put together a dog cam today. Time. So long and the short of it is, for today only, you will have to watch on one of the other pieces and services, which means all of my little floaty head friends who usually show up on the avatars on the overlay will probably not be there. That's the Discord. Yeah, Lulu Tulu. Well, Falafel Lulu. Her technical name is Lewis. I've been calling her Lou or Lulu, but the reality is she doesn't know her name. She doesn't know English. She doesn't know a whole lot of anything. And so I'll talk about her in a second, but I do have some topics that I want to talk about today. Some of them are Hive related. I wanted to pick your guys' brains. And then, of course, I did want to play some music as well. So unfortunately, the best laid plans of mice and men, every time I keep saying, it's going to get better, it's going to get better, things don't 1,000% get better. So one of the things that we may have to do in chat is we may have to leave all of the links. We may need to leave the YouTube link, the Twitch link, the Vim link, those three, so that people who wander in thinking they want to watch the show can then actually find their way to the show itself. And Ron and I will touch base later, and I will see if we can get this fixed up. So I apologize. And of course, to everybody else in the outside world, it looks like I'm not doing a show tonight, which is unfortunate. It is unfortunate for sure. Because we're finally making an effort to get back on track and really power through and really start building this up. I've got a bunch of artists that want to start doing like interviews and things like that. And of course, so we can jump directly into some of the Hive stuff if you guys want, or I can talk briefly about Lou. And I mean, you guys know Murphy already, but so Lulu is, she is a rescue from Iran. So she comes from Tehran. And they're obviously, Iran's pretty big. There's lots of cities there. But Tehran as the, she's really sleepy. Tehran as sort of the metropolitan capital is a very Muslim country, obviously. It's a very conservative city. And as such, cats are highly favored. Dogs, not so much. So I got her 2 days ago. She came on an 18-hour flight in cargo. So it's kind of shocking that she's even remotely functional right now. So she was in the cargo hold of a plane for 18 hours. She got to Seattle, and then a very kind rescuer drove her another 3.5 hours from Seattle to the U.S. border. I then went to the U.S. border, and I picked her up at the U.S. border. I did curbside pickup for my dog. So this has been quite a process, but what it means is, holy crap, this has been hard on the girl. It's been really hard on the girl. And so we are in the phase now. She's never lived indoors. She was picked up by, Tehran has a mobile extermination units that drive around that make sure that dogs, don't hang out. Strays are not a thing. They go around, they scoop up the dogs, they kill the dogs. So Lou has not had a good start in life. Lou has had she had the crap beaten out of her, essentially. So she's got a lot of learning to do. And she and Murph are getting along really well, and he's teaching her a lot of things. So we are officially in the part of the process where everything is terrifying. She's never lived indoors. She doesn't understand mirrors, windows, drawers, stairs, even outside. Think about if you were to move around the world. The air is different, the foliage is different, the temperature is different, the language is different, the people is different, the density is different. Everything is different. And not to mention that, she's actually acclimatized to the completely opposite time zone. And the problem with that is she's active and terrified at our nighttime, and during the day she's quite sleepy. Now that's normal for a big dog, but I need to help her understand when we're active and when we're not. So that is why I have dragged this poor dog in here for CyberBuzz today, is she needs to get used to spending time around me. She needs to get used to hearing my voice. And she also needs to get used to kind of staying awake and conscious during our daytime here, because yeah, she's used to a totally different time zone. So that's the dog catch up. It has been an exciting day or two. There's not a lot of sleep, and it has been very stinky. She's fucking disgusting. Guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. Holy shit. Lulu is nasty. She's never had a bath in her life. She's never had her nails trimmed in her life. Her nails are like one of those like ladies, except not, obviously not nicely done. One of those ladies with like, they're getting so long, they're curling. Oh, it's terrible. So we've got some work to do on Lulu. But she's got the best teacher here in Murphy, and then I guess she's got me, so there's that. All right, so now you guys are all caught up. I wish, Fox. You guys are all caught up. You know what's going on in the dog aspect of the universe right now. And so there's a couple things I wanted to talk about today, and one is that we have obviously got some features that have come into play with the last hard fork. Now, last week, we talked a little bit about why the curation was going wonky for a week, why things were wild, why people's voting habits were changing on the Hive blockchain and Hive interfaces. And we discussed why that was and sort of how that shook out and how you could take advantage of it. Well, that little windfall, she's over now. She's done. But there are still some benefits to be had, and a lot of them are around HBD. And, you know, HBD for the new people is our somewhat sort of stable utility token. But for the rest of us who've been around the Hive blockchain for a long time, HBD is this awesome, usable, convertible, tradable sort of aspect of the Hive blockchain that doesn't get enough love. Because we always want number go up, right? In the crypto space, that's what we always want on all our tokens. Number go up. We don't care what the number is as long as up always. Well, HBD, of course, there's been a lot of fiddling to try and keep it at peg. But with this sort of recent set of changes and recent focus, there's APR on HBD held in savings, which is great. We want that. We want to be able to offer a place for people to park their funds and earn interest. A lot of people are looking for that now. You know, we've talked about this where DeFi is this whole sort of new aspect where people are starting to realize, okay, first we had the ICO bubble, and that was just buy a crypto token. When the fuck are you? Oh, poor Fox. He's going to be mad because he hates YouTube. Tell him I'm on Vim TV. Let's give him the Vim link. I'll try and do it in a minute, but I don't have enough hands or enough spoons or enough brain power to do it right now. But so the reality is that, you know, we had the ICO phase. That was the last bull run. Everything was an ICO. And for a lot of people, that's not as comfortable, right? Like just buying into an ICO and hoping to God the money goes up. Well, here, DeFi isn't that different, especially on the BSC Binance Smart Chain. And with BSC, there's obviously been a ton of rug pulls. They've kind of moved into first place for scam tokens. They've taken over from Ethereum. But the reality is that DeFi offers peer-to-peer options for earning funds and becoming a part of a decentralized banking system. So there's a lot of loaning going on. There's a lot of farming going on. You guys that are watching now maybe are participating. I mean, many of you from the Hive blockchain maybe actually have had your first sort of step into DeFi completely paved by the Leo Finance project. So however you're doing it, if you are doing it, let me know in chat. But the sort of gist of where I'm going with this is Hive as a blockchain DeFi has always been sort of attached to the idea of layer 2 tokens and second layers and things. Thank you. Thanks, Margot. Things that are sort of built on top of Hive. But we do have HBD. We do have this stable-ish utility token that works like cash, can be used for services, can be traded in as an IOU for Hive. There's lots of reasons why HBD should be more popular than it is. And the biggest step forward, of course, is kind of moving towards taking this into becoming a part of DeFi, letting people hold it, earn interest on it. Discord is working now. Thanks, Ron. I wasn't going to bug you. I wasn't going to let you know. But everything is DeFi, the Canadian. No, I actually just like DeFi. I guess if you're going to say decentralized finance, DeFi, like the word defy. I don't know. I didn't do the one thing. What the heck is he talking about? What was the one thing I didn't do? I don't know. And everything is muted. So he says Discord is working now, but I actually don't see that the bot is actually unmuted. So I'm not 100% sure. I'm hoping that Ron will take care of that. You guys let me know. I'm not sure what the one thing was. Fuck. Listen, everything's broken. Watch where you want to watch. With all that being said, we will kind of continue on. But the biggest kind of thing that we're focusing on today is you have the opportunity to earn interest. Now, you always earn interest on Hive that you have powered up. We know that. That's a thing. But now you've got the opportunity to purposefully buy, hold HBD, earn interest on it. Thank you, guys. Don't worry. You don't have to tell me you're listening. I'm hoping and I'm praying, but there's no guarantee. Listen, today will be a fun, chill day. But the reason that I bring this up is because specifically, Jarvie and some other people, we want to try to get out there and reintroduce this aspect of Hive because people don't know about it. And so one of the most important things that people are looking for right now is they're looking for a place to get some tokens, park some tokens, earn some interest, right? That is a thing that people want. So now that we have that, it's kind of a little bit possibly important that we tell people about this. So why the fuck am I telling you guys this? Theta's live now. Okay, cool. Thank you, Ron. I don't know if you guys can hear it in the actual MSP audience room. I don't know. Go fucking fish. They both look muted to me, but I'm not gonna complain as long as more people can hear. So the idea is, and the reason that I bring this up is we're looking for people who are interested in this. Who's interested in finding shows to go on, finding interviews, podcasters, websites, whatever. Where are good places that we can go and talk about this aspect of Hive? We've got it now, but no one is talking about it, and that's a problem. Now, obviously, marketing on Hive is everybody's favorite fucking hated thing ever. But with that, I keep looking back to see if they're asleep, and they are. Look at them. Sleepy babe. Murphy, you opened your eyes. You ruined it. Anyways, so that's what we need to do. And there's a lot of work involved in this particular process. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind it. And it's not just finding people to do the talking on podcasts or to do, it's fine. It's under the radar marketing. It's so under, it's egregiously under the radar. Well, so here's the deal. Jarvie and I are going to try and take on as many interviews, podcast shows, whatever. Jarvie's spearheading this. But what we're looking for is people to do some of the legwork. Do you know of a show that you really like? Do you know of a good fit? Are you willing to kind of help reach out and do some reintroduction? I must have it personally muted. It says server mute, though. Backup bots, server mute. Oh, that must be me then. No. Server mute. Drink. Yeah, okay. So server mute, let me just see. All right, fair enough. I thought mute was me. I thought server mute was everything. Yeah, see, now you server muted it again. Oh, I understand. Okay, I fucked you guys up. I got it. I figured it out. It's because I have Streambot itself muted, personal mute. Got it. All right. So we figured it out, and we'll see if we can go from there. So that's fine. Yeah, I know, Ron. It's just I thought that I hadn't muted it, but I did earlier when I was fucking around trying to figure out if we could hear anything. So long story short, Ron fucked it all up, but I fucked it up worse, and it's fixed now. Don't worry about it. Watch where you want to watch. Whatever. But so yeah, unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do for today's show once again went out the window. But you know what? You guys are cued for disappointment. This used to be like 30, 40 people watching minimum. Now, 15, 20 at like the top is good. Slowly fading into obscurity, slowly sliding under the radar, never to come back. But while I still have you and while we're still here, we could talk about stuff like this. So this is the thing we want to do. If you know of someone that you can reach out to, if you know of, yes, Anjar. Okay, so we did a quick update, but more and more people are coming in. Am I going to drink? Fuck your face, Ron. Aren't you supposed to be working right now? I will. I'm just stealing myself. It's not good bourbon. It's not bad bourbon. It's not good bourbon. Ugh. But yes, so for those of you who are just jumping in, who are now watching, I see a bunch on Vim TV. There's one sole viewer over on Twitch. Although, let's face it, Twitch only counts people chatting. There's quite a few people on YouTube. Hi, it's CyberBuzz. We're talking about all sorts of stuff today. It's going to be chill. It's going to be friends. We're going to talk about Hive-esque marketing and interviewing. We're going to listen to a lot of synthwave. And yes, behind me is a second dog. There she is. That's beautiful Lulu. Beautiful, beautiful Lulu. And beautiful, beautiful Murphy. So it's been an exciting week. We could talk a little bit about the past 2 days and what happens when you get a new dog and all of the things that you probably haven't thought about. Twitch has that hot tub and pool section. Yeah, which is funny because isn't that like actively against Twitch's terms of service? You know what? It's fine. I don't care. But so here's the thing. Yes, Lulu Tulu. Falafel Lulu is what I've been calling her because she's Iranian. And Murphy actually is quite fond of her. So this is great. Like, it's nice that she's in here and she's feeling comfortable. I need to start acclimatizing her to being around me, being around Murphy, being in different spots in the house because this is terrifying for her. It's terrifying. Now, I will say, and I will drink for this, that it's not just her that stinks, but she fucking stinks. Like, there are no words for the stinks. You get a pool, but for the dogs, I swear. Well, I saw there's filters now where you can put the filter and it'll just put a pool under where it like sees your head. So you could just be like, and it'll insert a pool around you with the filter. Is that good? Could we do that? Mm-hmm. Good level, kids. All right. So yeah, I'll quickly mention the dogs one more time. And I will try to get a doggy close-up cam. But so long story short is, Lulu was scooped up off the street. She's fucking disgusting. She's a dirty. Her fur is matted. She's covered in cuts. I've gone over in the 48 hours that I've had her. I've gone over her 3 times now, and I've found a number of fully engorged ticks. So we've done some medication. But the problem is she's incredibly fearful. She's terrified I'm going to beat her. She's terrified of everything because she was living in a shelter in Iran, which is basically just some chain link fence out in the desert on the edge of Tehran. I don't know what they were feeding her. And one of the things is, let me tell you something that you may not know about dogs, friends. They have very fussy stomachs. And you would think, yes, she's now in a heavy metal house and she's going to be a tough bitch. I tell you what, she is a tough bitch. She's adapting very well. But let me tell you this. Dogs don't have the iron stomachs you assume they do. They do. But stress, have you ever been really stressed out about something? You've either holding in a lie, you feel guilty, you're anxious, your stomach gets going, you're a little, you feel it, you might, things are not awesome. Well, dogs get that too. Dogs get that a lot. Stress can be really bad for them. And unfortunately, what that means is their butts become the land of wind and ghosts. There is a lot of howling. There is a lot of farting. There is a lot of terrible stuff that happens. And that's just one thing. Anxiety and stress is just one thing. Well, if you pick up a dog and you throw it in a box and you put the box in a plane for an entire day, that's fucking terrifying. But then, of course, whatever she was eating back there was either crap food in the streets or whatever the shelter was giving her. And normally you have to kind of transition dogs onto a new diet. You mix their old food with their new food. You help them acclimatize. Everybody's happy. You don't have a shit explosion. Well, here's the thing. If you throw a dog in a box and put her on a plane for the most of the day, there's no transition on food. It's just a new food. And then finally, if you want to bring a dog into a different country, you have to make sure that they have been they've gotten all their shots and that they have taken certain pest medications. Well, guess what? If you give a dog oral medication, there's an excellent chance that their stomachs are going to be unhappy. So Lulu Pants Magoo back there, Falafel Lulu, as we're going to call her in our very casually racist way, Falafel Lulu has got the triple whammy of things working against her butt right now. And unfortunately, what that means is the past 48 hours have been full of poop. So much poop. I cannot explain to you the absolute foul liquid murder gravy that is being launched out of this dog at light speed. It is absolutely Jazuke. Are you a bot, Hozuke? You tell me. But so, yes, I won't go too far into detail after I've already described it as foul liquid murder gravy. But the long and the short of it is Lulu is in some intestinal distress right now. I've got her on a bland diet. I'm taking her out as often as possible. But where I'm going with this, guys, is A, she stinks because she's filthy. B, my office stinks because she shit all over it multiple times. C, she kind of stinks because I can't give her a bath and she's poopy on top of the dirt stink. And D, just as insult to injury, hey babe, there is an excellent fucking chance that she could get up at any point during this stream and take a shit on the floor. There's a very good chance. And I'm prepared for it. I'm hoping it doesn't happen, but I'm just warning you guys that there's an excellent chance that that could happen today. It's I was going to say Iranian roulette, but that's very, very racist. It's dog roulette. It's dog butt roulette. So I think we're pretty close because I've got her on this limited diet and we've been having it. We want to see, let it do it. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, if that makes you, no, if you get a black screen, I don't know what I'll do. I mean, she'll just go and it'll be out of the shot and then I'll be upset and I'll clean it up after the show. It'll be gross. Perfect. Whatever. All right. So now that I have explained, at length that that's a possibility, we can move on. But so, yes, we are acclimatizing. We're working pretty good. Last night, I lost some blinds because she's never seen a window before. So she thought she'd let herself out to the backyard. And so she didn't know there was glass in the window. So she thought she'd get through the window. Well, the problem was blinds were in the way. So yeah, I don't have blinds anymore. Alright. So I have two angelic, not shitting, pooping dogs on the stream. Fantastic. My name is Crimson Clyde. We've wasted half an hour of the show trying to figure out where we're streaming to and whatnot. But let's come back around to the Hive topics. Since so many of you jumped in, there are many of you hanging out here. We can talk casually about whatever you want and about the new pupperdoos. But like I said, I would like to talk to you guys about where is it and what would you like focused on if Jarvie and I and some other people are starting to make an effort to just go out and talk about HBD, about APR, about whatever other little aspects of the sort of Hive. What do you want? What should we even call it? Is it decentralized finance? Would you call it DeFi? Would you call it any of those things? Or is there a better way of describing it? How would you take this perk that we have, which is sort of another kind of cherry on the top of the Hive Sunday, how would you talk to people about it? And if you could, if there was a place that you could go and you could reintroduce some of the features of Hive, where would you want to go? I want those ideas from you, but I'm also looking for someone who might be willing to do some of the shitty grunt work. Like, let me be very, very real with you. If you are somebody who's watching this because you only like synthwave and disruptive technology, sorry. But for this little bit, if you're somebody who's here on the Hive blockchain, if you're watching on Vim TV and you're Hive-centric, if you're listening to this somewhere from Hive, whatever, any of those things, where and what would you like to see happen with that? And are you willing to maybe help out? Do some cold calling, as it were. If we can think of some ways to really talk about this aspect of earning interest on your HBD inside the Hive ecosystem, if we can find a great way to talk about it as a perk, because it is, maybe it is DeFi, maybe it is decentralized finance, maybe it is making your money work for you, holding your tokens earns you more tokens. However we talk about it, would you be willing to kind of help find places to go, like some cold calling? Let's reintroduce Hive. Let's reintroduce ourselves. Do you want to have a chat? Do you want to be on a podcast? Do you have a podcast? Do you want to look at this? Do you want to rip it apart? What do you want to do? So yeah, proof of savings, Kitty Girl says. Yeah, fair enough. So let me know. That can be kind of a reoccurring topic today, because I do have a lot of these little things that I want to bring up, that I want to ask about. And I had a list of topics that's kind of gone out the back of my mind. So we'll see what we hit. We'll see what we talk about. But I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad we got it working. And we will continue on today. So we'll take a quick break. I'm going to play one track just to get us started, get us rolling. And then from there, we will move on. We'll come back around. I do have a couple different things I want to talk about. One of which being some of the scarier aspects of decentralized finance and some of your thoughts. Proof of stable. Well, that may be something that we can talk about as well, because for a lot of people, stable, there is an acceptable range on stable, but everybody's got a different idea on it. And one thing that we can say that is fairly stable is that regardless of whatever happens, HBD very rarely stays far below $1. And even when it pumps, we know she's gonna come back down. She doesn't do the fucking run off to space that, say, SBD often does. In some cases, yeah, more stable than some other options out there. So, yeah, and so if you're a bit lost on HBD, we could talk a little bit more about it. If you guys want to move away from this topic, then we could talk about some other stuff as well. And of course, next week's show is going to be basically like NFT showroom focused, because NFT showroom is going to be a year old, which is so exciting. 1 year of our fabulous project that we are in love with. So art, music, and some big announcements, some big changes coming to the website, some big stuff happening. So next week's CyberBuzz will be dedicated to NFT showroom. So we got lots of cool stuff going on. But interim, you guys do come. Some of you enjoy the music. Some of you hate it. Some of you hate me and you love the music. Everybody's disappointed consistently. So that's got to be something, right? Let me play a track for you. And then in the interim, what I might try and do is actually get my old... get my old camera Wi-Fi streaming webcam set up, and I will try and introduce you to Lulu a little closer, with the caveat that she's a very terrified dog. She wants to love me very much. She wants to love the family very much, but she has only been here for 2 days, and she goes through moments of, I love you, please don't fucking hit me. And it's soul crushing. So we'll see how that goes. We don't want to torture her. We just want to make her mildly uncomfortable, as is CyberBuzz Radio tradition. All right, so a little bit of music. Let's see what she got, kids. I am thinking, have I played Night Stop for you guys recently? I want to play a track called Drive By Stalking, but I suspect I've played it not that long ago. So you know what? Let's start with some Jordan F. Let's play a track called Space Romance. And then we will be back after that with more music, more chat. We'll talk a little bit about Hive and decentralized finance stuff, maybe HBD, I don't know, whatever you guys want to talk about. And in theory, perhaps we'll just have a camera that can fly right up my dog's noses. I don't know. Whatever. It's whatever you want. Never say that I don't treat you good here. Oh, Hang on. There. I failed at getting it set up in time. But what else is new? I'm a huge failure. You get accustomed to the mediocrity. Hey, welcome! It is CyberBuzz Radio. My name is Crimson Clad. I am here on MSP Waves or wherever you are watching this stream every Saturday about this time, talking about disruptive technology, talking about blockchain, talking about Hive, playing synthwave music, talking about the retro future. We have a lot of fun when I'm not terrible, but I'm terrible a lot. So, just take it with a grain of salt. Today, I have begun by introducing you to my new dog and my not old, but my existing fabulous boy. And, all of the fun, I was going to say the fun butt stuff, but don't say that about a dog. Don't do it. Yes, SSB memes. Hi, and Eileen is here. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Don't talk about fun butt stuff in dogs in one sentence, even when you're being sarcastic. So we've talked about all the gross stuff that comes when you adopt a new pet, and many of you'll never experience any of this because it's legal in Canada. You know what? It probably is. Fucking Canada. But one of the things that you probably won't run into is any of this. And I say that specifically because you will probably adopt a well-adjusted pet from a local place. They will be around to help you. You will have either a foster or you will get the puppy from a breeder, and things will be fabulous for you, and you will have a wonderful new pet to share in your family. However, if you are looking for a challenge, but you're also looking to make a difference, then you can also look for dogs that have had a rougher start in life. Fair warning, you don't have to do it. This is not, I had somebody accuse me, so I'm going to touch on this gently before we come back to the Hive blockchain topic. No one will think you're cool because you have a super fucked up dog. No, somebody said, well, you're just adopting a dog because it makes you look... Virtue signaling, essentially. They suggested that I adopted a messed up dog because of virtue signaling, which is not true. Unless you think I'm cool, in which case, okay. But realistically, it's a big challenge. It's a lot of love. There's a huge payoff. And I mean, dogs are even at this age that you adopt them, it's a 10+ year commitment. So, don't go into it lightly. I don't know. Whatever advice you give someone about deciding to have kids, this is basically the same. Just assume that your kid stays like 2 to 5 years old and drunk forever. That's the difference, basically. Crim is a dog mom. Yeah, Ron wants me to get Ron wants to get me to say something specific, which is why he's doing that. So now you need a cat. No, I'm not a cat fan. I don't like them. You can have a cat. That's fine though. So with everybody's watching, hi Quam, more people are jumping in on Vim, more people are jumping in on YouTube. We started the show talking a little bit about, hey, we have cool new stuff going on around Hive, and we've got some stuff, 21 days for rehab. Well, now is that people rehab? Because that's roughly the rules with adopting a pet as well. Is this your call? Yes, hey, Cider. Why not? Vim is live. Everything else is live. Watch where you want to watch. I will say there is kind of a rule on this. It's 3-3-3. 3 days is roughly where your newly adopted animal is going to be freaking the fuck out. They have no idea what's going on. They are very... Well, cheers. Thank you. Ow, fuck. Ow. See? I got distracted by compliments and fucked up my hand. But there's 3 days, they're freaking out, they're a mess, their brains aren't working, there's no real function there, they're just running on adrenaline. 3 weeks, they start adapting a little bit, but what happens is then they become a little bit more showing you their personality. You will start seeing their behavioral issues. They'll become just comfortable enough to be a gigantic asshole. 3 months, they'll start bonding to you, and life will slowly go back to normal. 3-3-3, remember that. Or don't, whatever. You'll probably just know, as long as they're shitting all over your house, that you cursed the day you were born. But yes, so the temperature is normal back here in Canada. Things are looking good. We came through the Hive hard fork beautifully and all that good stuff. And we are on to a new week, a new show. Lots of new things to talk about. Where we started was, is there anyone who is interested in working towards sort of a community-driven outreach program, reintroducing Hive? Where can we take people like me who don't shut up, and where can we match them up with interviews, podcasts, whatever, places where we can talk a little bit about some of the cool stuff that's happening with a focus on, hey, did you realize you could just come here, hold your tokens, and earn interest on it? You don't have to be part of the social media aspect if you don't want to. You don't have to play games if you don't want to. You don't have to engage in some of the cool art and NFT marketplaces that are growing. Whatever it is that brought you to crypto, everybody wants to make a little bit of money. That's the goal. And so if we know that Hive, sorry, that window is open, it might be a little loud. If we know that Hive has this, it's time to remind more people that it exists. And how do we do that? So we're kind of talking about this. I'm trying to get my desk at least mildly under control here. If we're talking about this, we are going to need some people to get out there to start cold calling. What are shows that you watch? What are places that you check for information? Who are some people that you think need to hear about this? If you're interested, if you want to jump on board, shoot me a message or we could talk about it here. Things that you think is really cool that you think needs to be played up in some community marketing aspects. But since chat has completely dropped off and died, I suspect that's food for thought and perhaps a topic for another day. Look at them. Murphy, your face is so ugly. I'm going to try and show them. But so everybody looks pretty calm right now. High five, go team. Now, there was another thing that somebody was talking about earlier that I thought I would do a checkup. Now, there's not a ton of people here today, but there's enough here today. And many of you are very crypto savvy. Many of you are very secure in your knowledge that you've gained over the last couple years working around either the Hive blockchain or another blockchain. But I have a question for you. If you've been watching the news this week, there is FUD cycle after FUD cycle after FUD cycle. Man, oh man, the mainstream media desperately wants you to decide that Bitcoin's not worth it, desperately wants you to give up your crypto, desperately wants you to be afraid of all the reasons that crypto are destroying the earth, destroying your brain, whatever. We know that. You know that. However, some really interesting stuff that is, HODL and Iran. That's cute. I like it. I like it. So if you noticed this week, one of the things that has come out was that Binance had one of its European payment gateways say, no, you can't transfer money in and out anymore. Now, let's for a second look away from the the base details. Like, for once, forget it. Who cares? The details don't matter. There is what is essentially a bank or group of banks who have said, hey, if you have an account with us, we're not going to allow you to put money in or take money out of Binance. Now, regardless of how you feel about Binance, this to me is a topic that I want to touch on briefly today because it's time to ask. You guys are the smart ones. You're the cream of the crop. You're the creme de la creme, the creme de la creme. Here's the deal. One of the things that I watch a lot that I think is very important in some ways is exchange outflow. Now, exchange outflow, when I say that, I mean people taking funds off of exchanges. Now, the goal is nobody holds funds on exchanges. But watching exchanges and watching sort of how much money goes in, how much money comes out, what's being held on public exchange wallets is a very interesting and useful metric. Being someone in the US, you could not care less. I agree, Solo. However, one of the things that I always look for is what is it that might be changing inflow and outflow in exchanges? Now, obviously, we want to see lots of inflow. Yes, we want to see more people spending money, taking it on into exchanges, buying crypto, and then what? And we also want to see people who are buying that crypto on exchanges, they're taking it back off exchanges. They're secure. They are taking responsibility for their own tokens, whatever the case may be. Not your keys, not your crypto. However, do you guys think that has been the case? I'm not going to lie. It rarely is. Rarely. Inflow and outflow is obscured by over-the-counter. Yeah, that's, again, well, you'll see where I'm going with this in a second, and it's really not very important, nor is it very, detailed or whatever. But I want to bring this up just specifically. One of the things that we've seen time and again is even though we expect and we make campaigns and we teach and we do outreach and we talk about owning your own coins, finding, non-custodial methods or taking custody of your own assets or finding ways like maybe multi-sig or shared custody or finding ways to have personal control over your coins. That's very rarely what happens. Most people, especially new people into crypto, buy on exchanges, hold on exchanges. It's just the way of the world, the path of least resistance. And a small part of us, there's probably a number of reasons for this. And we've talked about this on the show before. It could be because you're actually a little scared to take full responsibility. And a small part of your brain says, well, they're probably insured. Yeah, they'll back me up. And there's also some people who are like, well, I don't care. I'm just going to trade with it. This is fun money. And there's lots of reasons, but whatever the case may be, most newbies do that. Now, when I say ghost, hi ghost, are you a bot? If you're not a bot, say something else. But if you are a bot, hi anyways. Oh, you do. Love the game. Cool. I don't know what the game is, but I'm glad you're here. You're not a bot. Good man. You're new at it. Yeah, so Solo's talking about doing outreach, but for a lot of people, this is a thing that happens. Now, inflow and outflow, let's face it, outflow is very rarely moved around by us going, take your Bitcoin off exchanges! Take your coins off exchanges. Very rarely does, even if everybody in the world is saying that, very, very rarely does that actually have an impact on outflow. Well, one of the things that I've been watching is Binance's outflow. And I have to say, it's getting pretty high. And there's more and more and more stories of investigation, which is mostly FUD. It's mostly FUD. But what I am touching on is that Binance Smart Chain, by dint of having so much money flowing through it, by having so many scam tokens, by being based out of China, by engaging in some of the things that they do with their, chain decentralization and whatnot, and putting some of these FUD stories on top of it, my question to you is, are you holding anything you shouldn't be on Binance? You should go look. And you should think about, if you are holding something there, why are you holding it there? This is your reminder, this is your kick in the ass that the last time that we saw outflows like this, news stories like this, things like this, it was right before BitMEX totally had a real fun time. And you know what? As a Canadian, the last time I saw something like this was with Quadriga. Now, I don't think anybody's going to be shutting Binance down anytime soon. I don't. I really don't. But it's always a reminder when you see these patterns emerging over and over again, it's a good reminder of, I'm in crypto because I value personal responsibility. I'm in crypto because I value financial freedom. I'm in crypto because I value, my anonymity or my personal freedoms. Whatever you're in crypto for, holding coins on exchanges probably doesn't mesh with why you're here. So, gentle reminder, noticing some of these outflows, noticing some of these things. Have you looked recently? Are you holding a lot of coins on an exchange? Do you plan to trade them anytime soon? Might be a good time to think about what you're going to do with them. Can't hold them there forever. Don't hold them there forever. Just a reminder. Now, most of you know this, but I thought I'd bring it up because I have to admit, even I'm looking at these outflows, I'm like, that is suboptimal. And also, that is not totally the norm. So it's one of those things, just always think about. Is there a way to get exchanges themselves to better educate a user when they buy a Hive and HBD into setting up keychain and getting a Hive account? Anjar, the long and the short answer of that is hell no. With love. Now, I can say this because I do talk to a lot of these big exchanges. Let's talk about why and how exchanges deal with new assets and things like that. Now, in the case of a custodial exchange, why do they want you to hold your coins on the exchange? Stop and think about why a bank wants you to keep money with a bank. Why does a bank want you to leave your money with them, right? So they can earn money on your money. That's very important. They want to hold your money and they want to generate fees off it. They want to invest your money in the background. A bank needs your money more than they need you as a client, right? So when we think about custodial exchanges, how do custodial exchanges make their money? Where does their money come from? Why do they need you to hold coins on their exchange? What are you likely to do if you have coins on the exchange? It's kind of like when you have a dollar bill in your pocket for you Americans, or if you're a Canadian, a $50 bill, because that's about the exchange rate these days. If you have cash, you are going to spend it. Well, the same sort of thing can happen on a custodial exchange. Not only if they're holding your coins, can they ding you for fees every time you move them? Can they, do lending in the background? Because of course, just because they say they have the assets to cover off what they owe you. Could you make a run on every exchange? Tough to say. But the reality comes back to they want and need you to keep coins there because you might decide to FOMO into another coin. You might do some trading because you're feeling confident. You might have a little bit of extra crypto laying around, so you make a purchase there. Whatever the case may be, that's what they want. When they have your coins, they are very much in control of your coins, even when you believe you're in control. And so the reason that I bring this up specifically is in Anjar's question. Anjar says, hey, is it possible to help exchanges help clients more? And the answer is, for most of these big custodial exchanges, absolutely not. Why on earth would they be interested in not allowing you, of course they have to allow you, in encouraging you and empowering you to take that revenue generation away? Why would an exchange with 5,000 coins or more, and that's conservative in some cases, an exchange with 5,000 coins or more, most of which need a node or some form of, software, a server, some form of the ledger being run locally. They are actively running, like in the case of Hive, they're running an exchange node, they're running their own Hive node. 5,000 plus assets. Do you really think that they're going to pick any one of them and really focus on finding a way to help you take the opportunity for profit away from their platform? The answer is no. So yes, we can try and encourage that, but where you're going to see this more likely and where this becomes more viable, because it's a great question, Anjar, is non-custodial exchanges. So places like Sequire, like Beaksy, like one of the, like Ionomy or whatever, a non-custodial exchange, or, a DEX or whatever, but a non-custodial exchange where you buy they basically become an intermediary for you. And so rather than all of the sort of continued fees, continued opportunities for them to make revenue, the place that they make revenue is in facilitating a purchase or a sale. And that's it. You go, this is what I want to buy, this is what I want to sell. They go, cool, we're going to skim off the top. Here you go. They don't want to hold your coins for you. Those are the exchanges or the services that it becomes more valuable to work with because they don't have a place to hold your coins. You need your coins. They're going to be a little bit more open-minded in helping people get a wallet set up, because if you have a wallet set up and you're committed to a coin, then of course you're going to make repeated buys, and that's how they make their money, or repeated sales, and that's how they make their money. So it's a tricky question, but what I can tell you is in today's what do you want to call it, ecosystem, in today's crypto space, the odds of any big exchange wanting to help people become more crypto literate in terms of setting up something as complex as Keychain or Hive Wallet, the app, or whatever, it's not going to happen. They don't fucking care, and they won't fucking care. All right. So let's just see. We're halfway through the show. There's a lot of chatter going on about mostly about XMR and shitcoins. But thanks for joining me. It's CyberBuzz Radio. My name is Crimson Cloud. We're talking about whatever comes to mind today. We've been talking a lot about dog poop because cutie dog's behind me. And we've been talking a little bit about reintroducing Hive and reintroducing interest and earnings on savings and things like that. That is absolutely fun and will probably take up some more of our time today. But of course, it's whatever you guys want to talk about, and we will listen to some more music, and I will try and get the dog cam set up. But there's lots of people jumping in. I'm happy to see you. Hi, we fixed the problems that we had from the start of the show. So next week, you should get a notification at the start of the show. MSP Wave should be working. Everybody should be happy, and I will only disappoint you on the virtue of my own performance and not from technical issues. So Andrew's asking another kind of follow-up question that's really good. And he's saying, what barrier then Hive is facing for getting on many dexes? Well, dexes, in a lot of cases, there's a couple of reasons. There's actually no barrier whatsoever, but dexes can be a little trickier because they're decentralized exchanges. They're peer-to-peer. There's a lot of reasons that people are actually less inclined to use them. So it's not the problem being of getting on dexes. It's that there aren't a ton of dexes so far that have grabbed the attention and the user bases, and in some ways sort of the trust factor, the notoriety, the sort of use cases. People are a little nervous around dexes because there's nothing to help you if you fuck up. There isn't, a staff that will be there. There isn't a custodial sort of service to help you out. But also, in the case of a lot of dexes, you are swapping coins based on pairs that are available. And with a dex, especially one of the ones that I'm looking at and that I'm working with in the background, I'm not sure if I should mention it, doesn't matter. But there is a dex that's attached to actually a sex, I guess you would call it, a kex. What would you call a centralized exchange? Would that be a sex? But there's a dex that a centralized exchange is creating on the side. And for them, what they're actively looking for is bridged tokens and tokens that have bridges and the pathways that it takes to exchange one token for another. And of course, Hive is kind of in a new zone with that. We've got layer 2 bridges now happening via the Leo Finance project. We do finally have a Binance Smart Chain bridge. We do have an Ethereum bridge. We do have a lot of these sort of wrapped tokens that can be moved easier. And so it's starting. It's certainly starting to come up more. But right now, the big thing is, do you know of any dexes? And this is a question because my knowledge here is a little weak. Do you know of any dexes that have grown to the point of being known like Binance, like Bittrex, like Huobi, like Wabe, like whoever? Do you know of any? Are there any that you've seen that are growing heavily and quickly that have that dedicated user base that allows for more and more people to kind of enter into that marketplace? It's a good question. So I'm going to take a quick peek at what's going on in chat. Not much of these things are related to the topic. So let's continue. Yeah, it's not an ETH token. So yeah, Trinkowski, that's a big aspect of it, is a lot of the dexes want something that can be easily swapped back and forth. That's very, that takes paths that they can follow easily. And of course, Hive is its own thing. It's on its own style of chain. It has its own layer 2 tokens. And so now that there are bridges, now that there is a wrapped Hive on Ethereum, and now that there is a wrapped Hive on BSC, there are some jumps that can be made through these ecosystems a little easier. That's not the only requisite to being on a DEX, but the biggest one right now is that DEXs don't have the user base that we'd probably like. That's a tough pill to swallow. How do we get people there? How do we get more people taking coins off exchanges because it's your money? And how do we get more people confident in transacting, peer-to-peer, trustlessly, without someone taking money off the top? It's a great fucking question. All right, so I am going to play a track because we're halfway through the show. We've got an hour left to go in CyberBuzz today. We'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. We'll play some more music. We'll chill. Both dogs are out. I love this because Lou is pillowing. Look at her. She's figured out a pillow. And we'll kind of play it by ear. Today, it started off a little slow and we've gained some momentum. So I'm glad that you're here. I'm dealing with things as they come. So I apologize that today was not as prepped as it could be. But of course, next week we'll talk about all things NFT showroom. We'll celebrate some of the coolest shit that is being released and some of the big things that make us excited as the NFT showroom team. And I'll play a lot of music and we'll look at a lot of art and it'll be cool. So let's do this. Let's play Volcore X. You guys know I love Volcore X. We know it. I know it. You know it. Everybody knows it. I'm gonna play you a quick track called Runaway, and I'm gonna try and see if I can get that camera, that extra camera set up in the 3 minutes that this track is on. Probably not, but you never know. My name's Crimson Clad. This is CyberBuzz. All right, there we go. Run Away. It is Volcore X. I almost finished, but I didn't quite finish. So, my name's Crimson Clad. This is CyberBuzz Radio. We've been talking about a whole lot of stuff today, and we mostly have been talking about potentially reintroducing and remarketing some cool stuff about Hive, specifically in this case, talking a little bit about the new HBD interest in savings, which is basically if you put your HBD into your savings account, you are locking it up for 3.5 days. It is not the same as staking. So it has nothing to do with your voting, nothing to do with your Hive power, and everything to do with just basically saying, okay, I know that there is a lockup / cool down period on this. If I want to withdraw it, it's going to take 3.5 days. But while you are holding HBD there, you can earn interest on it. So if you've earned a bunch from posting, if you just want to find a place to park some of the gains that you've made around the cryptosphere and you want it to earn some money, maybe this is a good option for you, especially if you are a Hive user, a heavy Hive user, or you're somebody who, spends a lot of time in this ecosystem. It's always nice to find services that match up with a place that you're already familiar and comfortable with, and that is part of a community that you're actively interested in long term. So the reason that we brought this up was, do you have any ideas of places, podcasts, people, sites, interviews that you want to see? Oh my God, this is taking forever. That you would like to see maybe some of this information shared, because myself, Jarvie, we are going to try and take on some of these interviews and whatnots. Now, I'm actually going to be doing, what is this? I'm actually going to be doing some, sorry. I'm going to be doing some AMAs towards the end of the month. I've got at least one video AMA. You need a topic that's a little bit technical. Hey, Trovo, Sepsin, hi. Hey, man. No problem, because earlier we were talking about how I got a new dog and she has explosive diarrhea. So we can find somewhere in between, right? We can have music, we can have dog poop, we can also have decentralized finance and earning money. Yeah, Seps, I know. This is what happens. It's an unfortunate reality. Nobody talks about this. They go, oh, bring home your puppy. Oh, they're so cute. Oh, you'll be fine. And then, yeah. So what I'm going to do here quickly, for those of you watching, is I've got the dog cam sort of working? Question mark? Maybe? So I'm going to quickly try and show you. Oh, see, look here. I'll show you in a second. I'm actually going to take you around the office quickly, and I'll introduce you to the dogs. And then we'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. And it may be that we just listen to more fun synthwave and we talk about retro future cyborgs and video games and whatever towards the end of the show. It's up to you guys. It's your show, believe it or not, you fucks. So 1 second here. Let's quickly rotate this. That looks good. And we're going to put this over me. We're just going to put this and we're going to make it as tall as the screen. It's very ugly. Who cares? And I'm going to transition it over in 1 second. Or maybe where should I put it? Guys, I don't fucking know. Don't worry about it. I'm covering up chat. I'm going to introduce you to the dogs. Okay. So let's just see. Are we ready? Let's find out. Transition over. Okay. So you will see here now I'm rocking the extra camera. Let's go visit the puppers. Let me know if you guys could see this. I think you can. Here's my setup. You guys have never seen this setup before. There's the forest and the mountains that you guys, that I always say is hard to see. Here's my desktop. Look at it. There's where all the magic happens, kids. All right, so let's come down. This is Murphy. This is Murphy Dog. And he is the, hopefully you guys can still hear me. He is the long-term resident, the dribbly nose, the bestest boy, and he's going to be teaching Lou. Now, I had to go over to Lou, and I'm going to try not to scare her, so let's just do a little, hey, Lou. Hi. Hey, Lou. How are you? So this is Lulu. She's having a rough day. She's having a rough life, and I don't want to stress her out, but you can see she's absolutely disgusting. She's stress shedding in clumps, big nasty pieces of matted fur. But she's cool with me, so we'll get there. There you go. All right. Okay, so let's turn that off. All right, so let's do that. There we go. Yeah, doggos. This is exciting. Okay. So now that we've done the quick doggo check, now that we've done that, what do you guys want to talk about for the rest of the show? Because everybody's kind of chilling. There are people jumping in and out. People are checking out the stream. I have a lot more synthwave that we can play. If you guys just want to listen to music and hang, we can do that. If there's a topic that you want to chat about, now that we've... Hey, Big Tom. Good to see you, man. Yes, and how is Sam? Tell me how Sam is. Tell me how your dogs are. Or if you have funny dog stories about dogs that have chewed through your blinds. Hey, Lou. Yeah, you're stressed. I know. This is stressful. So while we're at it, if there's stuff you guys want to talk about. Now, I thought that we could continue down talking about the exchange route and whatnot, but maybe that's enough for today. Maybe we want to just hang for today. There's lots of games and sort of retro future news that we can talk about, but I thought, okay, well, maybe we can grab some more music. If you guys want some more music, we can grab some more music. If that's that's what you would like. We could do that for the rest of the show. Sam is fat and happy, but fat because you can't walk due to the heat. Yeah. Oh, you don't have a dog oh, I'm sorry. It's hard. Dogs, one thing I will say is it's tough because dogs burn so very brightly and they always leave before we do. And that sucks. It sucks. There's no way around it. But, it's amazing that they went of old age and that you got so much time with them. So it's bittersweet. It's bittersweet. Lou is a companion for Murphy because I've always had 2 dogs, but I adopted, when I first kind of got settled and bought my first place, I adopted 2 older dogs. And I knew that I would have limited time with them. You just take that on board. I knew that adopting older dogs meant that I would not get a full lifespan with them. But unfortunately, it was so much shorter than I expected. And losing one of them was one thing, but losing the second one was like soul crushing. And it took me a while to kind of bounce back and be ready again. So I've only had Murphy for a while, since 2018. I lost Bert in 2018. So yeah, it took me about 3 years to be ready to go for it again. Murphy is 6? ? And Lou is 2, maybe? I don't know. We have no idea. Go fish. So in any case, all right. We'll throw that out there. But yes, I'm a huge dog fan myself, Sepson. And so for the rest of you, hi Swoop. Hi everybody that's joining us. It's usually not a super dog-centric show, but hey, ain't no harm in it. There was a question that was a little higher that I didn't get to. So Marco's asking about, hey, is anybody talking about Patreon on chain? So for those of you who are available and interested and active, derail away. This is normal. Oh my gosh, Sepson, everything I do on every stream is a constant derailment. And in fact, I'm very happy to be derailed about dogs because usually it's dildos or it's photoshops of me or it's people trolling me until I hate myself. You know what I mean? This was a very wholesome derail. And this is what my life is about right now. So, the Patreon on chain thing. Now, whether or not you actually come to this show because you care about Hive or blockchain is irrelevant. You are consuming a stream, a radio show, a bespoke product that I am creating with love for you. You may be a streamer yourself. You may be a writer, a creator, an artist, a musician, whatever reason you come here, you are involved in the content creation and consumption process. Now, of course, in today's world, getting paid for it really, really matters, right? That's the whole thing, is everybody's looking for a way to turn these passions, these interactions into cold hard cash. Crypto has made that possible. And for many of you, and for myself included, and for most people, the Hive blockchain was like, oh, I can go there and I can post and I can earn some crypto. Cool, I'll check it out. That's why we came to Hive. That's what we heard, right? So in this space now, Patreon matters. Ko-fi matters. These opportunities, tipping, look at Twitch or even YouTube now has, I can't remember what the term is, but YouTube is actually putting tipping directly into their platform. It's becoming so important, especially with live streaming. It's incredibly important. Vim TV has it. Twitch has a whole monetary system behind it. Trovo has it. Trovo has a partnership program specifically designed to be more equitable than Twitch. Same with Vim TV. Vim TV is blockchain based, is a way for you to own your community and your connections based on Hive, but also introduces tipping and monetization. Like, is Patreon, the Canadian. See, I told you, trolling. Is it not Patreon? Is it Patreon because you're a patron? A patron? Are you patronizing me right now? I don't know. I assumed it was Patreon because you're paying someone. Kind of like the Fediverse. Yeah, a little bit. So for somebody who's brand new to sort of the blockchain or decentralized ecosystem, what we're basically talking about is the ability to create or consume content on a platform that isn't owned by one company. So if, in fact, YouTube or Twitch or Twitter doesn't like you, they disappear you. And they don't just disappear you. They take all your money associated with your account and they memory hole you. All of your content, everything you've ever done is gone. But not in like a cool boy band dancing kind of way, just gone. And that's bad and that's sad. So people build these careers, they create these communities, and they get deplatformed. Hive and building things on Hive or building things around the blockchain allows the information, the connections, the follows, the likes, the content that you create to be held in ledgers on servers all around the world. If any one server gets shut down, those things still exist. You can go out and grab them. You can get them. No one can take these connections away from you. If I decide to pay you, if I decide to tip you, Twitch can't come in and be like, no, I'm going to take all your, what does Twitch have? Gems? Cheers? Whatever. The platform can't come in and be like, nah. And that's important. So, one of the things that Hive can now do, if you guys were here last week, bits, cheers, bits, bobs, whatever, butts, hold on to your butts. They can do that. So last week, the Hive blockchain obviously had its little hard fork, and it went well. And recurring payments is now a possibility. It's now a thing that can be done. And so, are people talking about a Patreon style connection? Thoughts, bits and butts and thoughts. That's what Twitch is full of it now. Holy shit! I need to adjust this whole space. You want to buy Lulu coin? Yeah, me too. And also, can we do like a big cheer for her because she has not pooped herself and she's trying to sleep? Hooray! We can curse. Of course, I curse all the time. Fuck, shit, piss, cunt. If I get banned, I get banned. This is why I'm on a number of different media. You're watching me on Trovo. Some people are watching me on YouTube. People are watching on Twitch. People are hanging out at mspwaves.com. Whatever. Get fucked. If I get banned, so be it. This is why I'm a decentralized technology fan. Where are we going with this? Right, so Patreon is now possible. And what we mean by this... Solo, yay! Yay, fuck! Patreon is the ability to pay someone on a recurring basis over and over again, monthly in this case, an amount of your choosing for whatever. For whatever. You could set up a Patreon for anything. For anything and everything. So if you want to support someone who makes a great content, or you want to buy something from them or whatever, Patreon is a great way to do that. But Patreon is centralized. And in the case of Patreon or other services, what happens? You pay Patreon, who then kindly pays the person that you intend to pay. It's very different. Oh my goodness, sorry about the noise in the background. Like I said, open window, stinky dog. It's very important to remember what happens, because every time someone hands you cash, the temptation is there to slip it in your pocket. So rather than me saying, well, Fox, I love your knitted tea cozies. I would like to see pictures of your knitted tea cozies every month. I'm going to pay you $1 every single month, and I'm going to look at your pictures of tea cozies. You are a cool dude. Now, I can hand that dollar to Fox. But in the case of Patreon, what I'm actually doing is I'm handing the dollar to Patreon and I'm saying, hey, Fox, do you mind getting your ask Patreon for it. And Patreon goes, oh yeah, here you go. And hands Fox 95 cents. Now he's right there. I can see him. I'm looking at him. I'm engaging with him. I could hand him the money, but I don't. I hand it to Patreon. Patreon takes a cut and then gives it to him. That's fucking annoying, but that is the entire basis for services up to this point. And in some ways, it's viable, right? When you think about it, no business is free to run. It's okay for a business to charge a fee. But in this case, where the real problem comes in, fees are one thing. Fees are annoying. But that's not the actual issue at hand. The actual issue at hand is you're collecting money in your Patreon account because you have to have X amount before you withdraw it. Or you need to transfer in money from your own bank account. Well, that money goes to the platform, and the platform holds it for you, and they say, don't worry, we're keeping this safe. You're fine, don't worry. And then inevitably you do something that they don't like, whatever it may be, and they shut it down. And your recourse, your access to your money is gone. And not only is the access to your money gone, the access to the people that signed up for your Patreon is gone. So you got no money, you got no connections, you're out on your ass. Fucking sucks. So here's the Hive blockchain. It now has recurring payments. And what this means is you can set up a payment to someone else. You can set it up in a way that is automatic on the blockchain using crypto and goes directly from you to them or them to you, whatever the case may be. So this opens up an avenue for people wanting to build either recurring tipping, gated content, a Patreon-like app. This actually opens the door for this. And yeah, Anjar's got a great point. What about something like a subscription box? What about something like, I don't know, what else could you do with a recurring payment? What else do we have these days where a recurring payment is useful? There's some really cool possibilities. This is another one of those things that we should be taking out and saying, hey, you can do this with crypto. Did you know that? It's actually pretty fucking easy. This is important. So yeah, you barely trust your bank. Fucked if you'll trust Patreon. Ain't that the truth? And that's the number one problem here. I mean, fees, like I say, fees are obnoxious, but that's not actually the core of the problem at hand. So this is very cool. I like these ideas. Chat's getting ridiculous. I see. I'm going to clip that for posterity. Trin is offering Fox, $100 to see nude pics? Chat. But one thing that I will put out there, chat does always win. You're absolutely right. Chat is a fucking disaster, and I love each and every one of you for being a disaster. But so the reason that I bring this up, and one last thing that I want to touch on, is for those of you who are still listening, and for those of you who do use the Hive blockchain, this is a new feature. And one thing that I want to caution you about is some people have decided, hey, I know what I'm going to do with my recurring transactions. I'm going to set a recurring payment to an exchange. I'm going to make it so that I'm going to send 50 Hive every 3 weeks to my exchange, and I'm going to trade that into something else. Well, the only thing that I want to caution you about is exchanges don't really know how to use or work with this yet. And as such, please don't set one up. You can, but there's absolutely no guarantee that an exchange is going to properly track this. Now, the reason I throw this out there is because we are talking with them. We're trying to get them, Gandalf is working on it. There's a bunch of people who are in talks with exchanges to help them better understand this feature. Now, unlike them helping do, teaching people how to use their own wallets and, take money off exchanges, this is a feature that to them, obviously, they're going to like. Oh, you mean you can automatically send us money all the time? You fucking do it. So yes, your memo may change. How they handle it, we don't know. And so that means we have to, as a community, and as some of us doing outreach, we have to discuss with them, are you going to honor it explicitly, and how and what do you need to do that? So if you guys, as sort of the power users of Hive, I know I already called you out, Swoop, but I'll say hi again. As the power users of Hive, or whatever, as people who come to this show and are much more intelligent than me, just remember, don't do that yet. Give it a little time. All right, so taking a look, we got about half an hour left in the show. Everybody is sleeping happily. Probably half of the audience is as well. But if you're enjoying yourself, please come back next week because we will have a very fun, arty, musical, NFT showroom theme show. But if you're here and you're hanging out today, thank you. My name is Crimson Clad. This is CyberBuzz Radio. We talk about week to week, it varies. Some weeks I'm a crab and I just yell at you for 2 hours on live stream. Sometimes we actually talk about really valid, cool blockchain topics. Sometimes we do things like we talk about how an autonomous murder Tesla caught on fire and then drove around a neighborhood looking for someone to immolate. We talk about all sorts of things, whether it's tech or retro future or synthwave or whatever. It's usually a good time. So, with all that, you're a newbie. Not sure you trust Hive yet. So are you on Hive, Sepsin? That's a great question. Oh, cool. Julia is coming on. I have not asked anyone. I've just planned I'm going to do a show on it. I'd love to have Julia on. I recognize that most people would love to listen to Julia or any other one of the NFT showroom team members than me. So yeah, probably I'll get everyone else on the team and I will just give them the mic and then you guys will be happy. Look, there's Clay. Clay can just come on and do my show instead. Okay, so let's jump back to music for a minute and we'll go from there. So let's just see. Let's take a peek. You'd be willing. You need to do sober research. Well, feel free to reach out, and I would be happy to help you out, get you an account, and let you see what's up. So let's just see. I want to do some music, but I don't know what. And I haven't actually checked through all of the new releases yet. So that's a pain in the ass. Let me take a boo. Actually, maybe we could let's do something a little dreamy, a little lighter, a little more, a little less synthwave, a little less dark cyberpunky, and something a little bit lighter and friendlier. I'm gonna play a track called "Hypnotize" by FM Attack. I know there's a lot of nepotism because FM Attack is from Vancouver, but this is a great remix. It's a short track. "Hypnotize." My name is Crimson Clad. I'm gonna check out chat. And I'm going to double check what else is going on. And we'll be here for the last half hour of the show. And if you like this, come back next week on Saturday. I'll do it all again. On Thursdays, yes, Canada. I'm in Vancouver, BC, Canada, on the best coast, West Coast. But on Thursday nights, I do Full Force Radio. That's heavy metal, hard rock, and a whole lot of bullshit. So if that's up your alley, you should come back then. And for the rest of you who are watching, wherever you're watching, you can go to mspwaves.com for the full schedule. There's tons of DJs that do tons of cool streams here on this cool, decentralized social broadcasting network. So now that I've done all the fucking shill, let's play the actual track. It's a brand new release from FM Attack. Hypnotize. you go. Big doggo energy up in here. All right, Hypnotize. Super chill wave, kind of synthy, kind of whatever, with some fabulous dog energy, big dog energy. All right, so let me flip back over. Hey! Sepsin, as our newest active Trovo listener, is asking, hey, is the Discord gated? Well, here's the deal. We have a Discord that is attached to the broadcasting network, which is MSP Waves. It is this cool, decentralized, I don't want to say radio, but let's call it radio for right now. It's a station that plays community broadcasting, video and audio podcasts, and it's full of music. When there's not a live DJ, it's full of music from people in the community around the blockchain. The whole point is that it's put on and staffed and created by people who are passionate about the decentralized ecosystem on pretty much anything and everything you can dream of. So we do have a Discord. You can go to minopond.org to join. I tried to make a Crimson Clad Discord for all of my streams and for all the shit that I do, and everybody was like, nah. Nah. So nobody wanted to be in the Crimson Clad Discord. I thought that it'd be cool. Feelings about Linux. Linux is very, very popular around here. For my home PC and my home setup and my work PC, I don't use Linux, largely because for my employer, my meat sack world job, I use Adobe Suite for almost everything. And so what that means is the workflow and Adobe products, they suck for, like, you need to use Windows and it's trash, but it is what it is. I use the whole workflow aggressively. So everybody's going to come for me, but listen, that's my work pays $3,000 a year, so I can use all of the products together, and that's kind of how things are. But Linux is very, very popular around here. Most people in chat, or most people around the blockchain aspect of things, they are very interested in running Linux on either laptops or personal boxes, and a lot of people even do their streaming and their Hive blockchain work from Linux boxes as well. So there you go. All right. So let's just see. We've only got about, your print side is mostly Mac. Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah. I work in graphic design as well. And for a long time it was, you needed to have a Mac for creative stuff. And now 50-50. Depends on what you're building, but certainly you can get PCs that compete now, whereas before there was no competition whatsoever. But yeah, exactly. Windows is for when you don't care. Linux when you need to chill on the DL. Truth. Very true. Oh yes, Temple OS. That whole thing, that Temple OS story is fascinating. We should actually talk about that someday, because that whole thing is wild. So Clay's here now. He's actually listening. Clay, next week we're going to talk about NFT Showroom and all the cool stuff going on, and nobody actually wants to listen to me. They want the cool people from NFT Showroom. So I guess you're going to take over my show next week? Question mark? All right. So let's just move on here. We could play, oh, you ain't got no ears. No, you ain't heard nothing, huh? All right, press F for Terry. Yeah, R.I.P., dude, R.I.P. So yeah, there's some other stuff that's going on out there in the ecosystem. It's getting really hot in here, so I might actually F's in chat. Drop your F's in chat. I might let the dogs out of the room because it's getting quite warm and quite stinky in here. But if you'll probably be around. Oh, it's okay. I mean, you don't actually have to show up, Clay. I was just being sad because people don't even want to talk to me about the project. They want other people. And you know what? Everybody loves having Julia on, because Julia, for those of us that have shows, Clay has a show, I have a show, you get used to us, we're entertaining enough or whatever, but Julia, you don't get to hear Julia very often, so it's a delightful thing. If you have interesting things to say about NFT Showroom, I'd like to hear it. Yes, I have been working on a number of big changes, which is very cool, and I'm very excited to unleash them, but for now, in a very awkward very quiet. But yeah, next week, huge set of features are launching. Lots of new looks, lots of new visuals, and that's fun. Been working on some of this stuff for a while for you. You're a bit lonely in Trovo chat. Yeah, and so here's the thing, Sepson, and we've talked about this at length. One of the biggest problems is hating YouTube. Fair. One of the biggest problems is when you are working on decentralizing your content, it's very valuable to drive people to a single platform. Trovo is a gaming and mobile-centric streaming platform with equitable streamer payouts, actually. It's really content creator and content consumer focused. But so here's the problem is what each platform wants you to do is drive everyone to their platform. And so unfortunately, this is something that I see a lot on the show. Like when you look at the overlay today, there's 8 people on YouTube, 2 chatters on Twitch, a couple people on Vim, a couple people listening through the website. Then you've got all these people who are in Discord. Everybody here, and actually I don't even have the Trovo numbers on the screen. I have to hook up to the API. So everybody here is watching. There's actually quite a few people watching and listening, but they're spread out all over the place. And the reality is I truly do not want to force you to a platform that you don't want to use. And so that becomes problematic because one of the biggest metrics that people look for is how many viewers do you get? How many subscribers do you have? How many people during a live stream interact? Well, Twitch actually won't show you as a watcher unless you're chatting in stream. And so there's lots of things. Yeah, it's just you on Trovo. And so the reality is I don't tell a lot of people like, oh, everybody go to Trovo, everybody go to Vim TV, everybody go to Twitch, everybody go. And so the problem becomes there that you really find it difficult to kind of build that momentum that comes with what algorithms that happen on streaming sites. What are people watching? Where are a lot of people right now? What's a live stream with a lot of people on it? And that's how Twitch works. That's how YouTube works. That's how everything works, right? Is, that sort of momentum building. And that's really important. But the problem is it's not a super good way to be decentralized. And for me personally, I would rather have only a couple of you than force you to watch on a platform that you hate. And I recognize that in a lot of ways that hurts my metrics. But you know what? I'm a fucking trash, shitty streamer. I just do it for love. I do it to educate, and I do it because you guys have a lot of fun. So it is what it is. All right. Now, we've only got 15 minutes left in the show. My time slot will be up then. So we will listen to a little bit more music, and then we could talk about some other stuff if you guys want. We can make it just open. Yeah, Twitch is really tough. I truly do not understand Twitch. You didn't find it that late. I go for 2 hours, and that's my set stream time. So lots of people stream all day, especially game streamers. Streaming becomes a full-time day job. I have 2 set slots for 2 hours each. That's it. Boo! More Crimson. Sepson, you're going to become my favorite real quick. So boo this woman. But so the reality is I'm starting to work in other streams and chats and gaming and stuff. But these shows are my favorite because they teach people stuff. They teach me stuff. We talk about stuff that doesn't necessarily always get a lot of attention. And at the end of the day, we talk a little bit more about Hive, which of course is an important aspect of my life, and yours too for some of you. Otherwise, let's listen to some music. And we'll come back around and we will chat about whatever the fuck you guys want. Let me see. So, knowing that I didn't actually get any more music planned out for the day, I do want to find something to play for you guys. You know what? We haven't played something like Scandroid in a long time, but there's so many good artists putting out music right now that's just fucking awesome, I have to say. So you know what? Let's do the Midnight, because the Midnight has put out some. I mean, they're classic. They are almost probably synthwave put in a box. But he's drunk. Yeah, I love drunk people. I'm a drunk people. Your hacker friend used to keep me up to date on Twitch until he died. It was important to his conspiracy theory self. Okay, fair enough. So sorry that you lost a friend. Especially sorry that you lost a friend who was willing to do something that you don't want to. But I'm interested. So tell me what he thought Twitch in terms of a conspiracy. Tell me what he thought about that. I'm curious. I'm curious to know. Give me all of the theories. But yeah, I'm going to play some Midnight, and I'm going to play some older Midnight. You know, they have a sound. They are a little cliche, but their music is great. Their shows are so fun, and they epitomize retro 80s sexy sax. And I actually haven't played them on the show in a long time. So let's go back and let's play a track that they are very, very well known for, which is a track called Days of Thunder. Yeah, Twitch conspiracy to almost let the boobs free. You know what? We could have a whole day talking specifically about how Twitch says no nudity, but then abso-fucking-lutely kind of encourages streamers to get nudie pants on stream and then be like, tee-hee-hee, you get a 1-day ban, where like a dude will get a 50-day ban or whatever. Or women who get their 3 strikes don't end up getting kicked off the platform. And I say this, hey Zip! I say this as someone who has no problem, like people who want to cam and who want to go on Twitch and be, you know, just this side of lewd. I don't care about that part. I care that Twitch's business model is not enforced across every aspect. Like, if you're going to let this bitch in her underpants in the hot tub, then you're going to maybe have to let a guy or maybe let something else do, you know, you have to enforce equally. That's all. So in any case, let's, Zip, you might be a bot. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Zip's not a bot. Zip, I take it back. I'm an asshole and you're fucking cool. All right, so listen, I get it. Boobs exist. They're great. I totally understand. And if that's your jam on streaming, have at it. What is the there's an anti-foot policy on Twitch? Do I have to foot? Should I I gotta stretch my feet up? It's gonna be a whole thing. Let's do it. I'm gonna foot on stream and we'll see if I get banned. All right, so I don't want to ask. I don't want to know. Let's foot. Yikes. Quentin Tarantino's been to Twitch. Let's do it. Let's play the Midnight. It's called Days of Thunder. It's a great track. It's so retro 80s. Zip just zipping around. The music theme caught your eye. Well, then you came at the perfect time. It's tech. It's retro. It's synthwave. It's the Midnight. It's called Days of Thunder, and it has a fucking killer saxophone solo. And this is legit. When they play live, he comes out and he rips on this sax like you would not believe. It's so fun. Their shows are really awesome, really upbeat, super positive. Highly recommended. They're going on tour. They are coming back after the whole COVID thing, and they will be touring around in October, I believe. You can probably get tickets. In any case, my name is Crimson Clad. This is CyberBuzz Radio, and here is a fabulous track. Let's do Days of Thunder. Absolutely.
king-size bed was an escape plan, was an open hand. Now it's a dog from hell, it's a dream you tell, it's an epitaph, it's a photograph.
Yeah, people are asking for gunship, bang barge, pew canoe, all of the cool names that we came up with for gunship, but we don't actually have enough time left in the show. We don't have enough time to play it. Guess you'll have to come back next week when I will actually curate some music, admittedly. So, this week, now that it's been 2 hours, the time has flown. Many of you have just put on your headphones and tuned the fuck out, and you're just waking up because that's how this show goes. Yes, today was a little bit off. We started the show with some slightly technical difficulties. We talked a little bit about what I'm trying to do with the stream to make sure the quality is excellent. And how I fucked it up and how Ron fucked it up. And when we fuck up together, then it's just an even bigger fuck up. And then we fixed it. But yeah, today what we did is we spent a lot of time talking about dogs. We talked about adopting trauma dogs and talking a lot about what that's looking like for me over the past couple days and having a dog that has come from literally the other side of the world, and some of the challenges that go with that. I'm sure you will hear more about it. It's certainly exciting to me. It's probably less exciting for you. But with that being said, then we moved on to talking a little bit about, hey, here are some features from the last Hive hard fork, specifically HBD interest and how you can earn interest on tokens you're holding, and should we be taking this out there and talking to people about it who are in the crypto space and that who are looking for either passive income or whatever the case may be, decentralized finance. Fine. Should be taking this out there, and that Jarvie and myself are going to start searching out interviews, videos, podcasts, and sort of, if you want to be a part of that, if you're interested in it, if you have ideas, if there's a show you'd like to see us kind of tackle or whatever, let me know. Heartbreaks for Trauma Dog. Yeah, I mean, like, it's fucking sad, man. It's so sad. I would have had her earlier, but the first available flight went to a dog that they found two guys had tied her up and had lit her on fire. Who fucking does that? And more shockingly, the dog has healed, her fur has grown back, and she still wants to love people. And it's like, you have every reason to hate humans. Like, dogs are too good for us. So yeah, it's super messed up. And again, I don't want to get into this because it's very culturally insensitive, but long story short is lots of places, other parts of the world, dogs are not, nobody wants them. So go out and kill them. Big whoop-de shit. It's unfortunate, but that's lots of animals when you think about even here, even sort of, anyways, forget it. We're not gonna, Muslims. Yes, she's from Iran. She's from Iran. So yeah. And that's a cultural religious thing. And it's not just them. There's lots of religions. So Lest we get into a hot topical debate, there are plenty of places in the Middle East that also love dogs. Like Mahabad, it's mostly Kurdish people. They all have dogs. They have herding dogs. So, you know what I mean? People gonna people, and bad people gonna people. So, we covered a lot today. We talked about my dog, and we talked a lot about these sort of Hive-centric features, and can we take them out? Can we... Girl gone crypto. Yeah, that's a great point. Leah her hustle is strong, man. And so a lot of her partners, she's looking for partnerships, but I think that she has a pretty good handle on the interior workings of Hive. And if we kind of worked with her, we could probably have a great conversation. She's really great. The last time I saw her was Poland. Yeah, we had dinner in Poland for when it was still Steamfest. But that being said, yes, okay, so give me your ideas. Yes, inertia, ain't that the truth? Nature is cruel, but we don't have to be. Kindness costs nothing. No, this is not about on my show. This is about us taking some of these Hive things out. So are there shows, places that talk about sort of these aspects, whether it's decentralization, but in this specific case, either recurring payments or, I guess, I don't know, but you're missing the point here, Swoop. We're looking for places where we can reintroduce Hive. And so rather than, worry about official marketing, some of us are just going to pick up some interviews and videos and podcasts and try and see if we can spread the word a little bit. And so, yes, at the end of this month, I'll be doing an AMA for an exchange. I know Jarvy's got some set up. There's your thoughts or your help would be greatly appreciated. So if you're interested, drop me a line. Otherwise, we have come to the end of the show, my friends. We talked about a lot today, and it was kind of a mishmash. It was unplanned. We did not have a good handle on music, but next week is going to be a really fun one. It's going to be a celebratory show. It's going to be crypto art and crypto music and lots of synthwave and bright colors and NFT showroom and a bunch of sort of following up with the announcement next week. We've got a huge release for NFT showroom happening next week on the 15th. Which is very exciting. So this time next week, the 17th, Saturday, CyberBuzz will be talking about that. And maybe some more stuff. Maybe I'll be buried in poop. I don't know. Wish me luck for the coming week, but that's it for me, guys. Have an awesome day. I'll see you next show. Bye. All right. Cutting her off.